Welcome to Scorched Earth and a general mid-month reading for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon or Ascendant for the last 2 weeks of March. I hope you're well. Using the Deviant reading for today, which was rather surprising when that chose to come out. It's not one that's made an appearance for a while now, but here it is. And it was interesting, before I started the reading, I do a little meditation and connect with the energy of each sign, and there was an overwhelming intensity, almost actually made me feel a little bit nauseous. Right, so I feel like things are really quite intense for you at the moment. We'll see how in a moment. But if you haven't seen these videos before, I structure them slightly differently to the main readings for the month, in so much as we're looking for the lesson. I believe that there is wisdom, or indeed a lesson, contained in every interaction or experience that we have, if we are open to seeing it. And often we are not, because we get bogged down with day-to-day minutiae of stuff and stuck often. And it's only really in reflection, once this time has passed, that we can kind of see the point in it. So this is an exercise in reflection. It's about stepping back and seeing what energy you are in right now and why you are in there. What is the point of it, right? And sometimes it will be trying to show you something about yourself, sometimes it will be trying to help something leave, or, you know, welcome something in. We won't know until the cards hit the table. So we'll do 3 cards for where you are right now, and then 3 cards for what this experience is trying to teach you, and then 3 cards of advice. I hope that makes sense. Let's see what's going on with you. You can have 3 cards for... Okay, got a lot to say today. Ugh. Okay, so we have the 3 of Swords in the reverse. We have the Lovers card. And also, thank you. Good God. We have the 5 of Pentacles, right? We've got the Magician, and I heard as I looked at that, this is the making of you, Aries. This feels like you have been navigating some very difficult energy of late, and you're not free of it, not yet, but it's coming. It is coming, because we've got the Magician of the deck, or at the bottom of the deck here. This is showing you that everything that you are experiencing right now is trying to show you that you have the tools for what it is that you want to do next. We've got the 6 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. And there's a notion here that you need to find a sense of equilibrium for yourself within what you are experiencing. But I do feel that you are doing that, because we've got the Magician here. In fact, the Magician is speaking to his ability, your ability, to be able to affect the changes that you're wanting to do at that point that you get balanced with it, right? So it's not necessarily that things change outside of you, it's the fact that once you hit a level with yourself and you're like, right, okay, things are a bit shit, but it's okay, I can deal with this, I am bigger than this situation, that's when the Magician energy starts to kick in. We have the 3 of Swords here, we have the Lovers card, and I have to say it actually came out in the reverse as well, and we have the 5 of Pentacles here. Now, this speaks to a slow dawning realization. The fuck is that? A spoiler the size of a house on the back of that car, right? There is healing occurring, right? You cannot have the 3 of Swords in reverse unless it has first presented in its upright, energetically speaking, as far as I'm concerned, right? So your heart has been broken, and there's lots of different ways that this can, you know, show itself. For some of you in the last year, you may have separated from significant others, you may have had family spats, you may have fallen out with friends, right? There's a big sense that emotional relationships have not been nearly as fulfilling, and I feel like it is for the last year for you, than than perhaps they could have been, and that was very much the 3 of Swords in operation for you. But your slow recovery from that is indicated by the 3 of Swords in reverse, right? But what you're still wrestling with here are these 2 cards, where it feels like your ability to be able to direct your own life is still somewhat compromised, right? And whether that's because other people have got fingers in your pies, or whether you're stuck in some sort of way, it's like it's speaking to a feeling of disempowerment that you have. But the interesting thing about the Lovers card for me is that it absolutely revolves around the idea of free will and consent. So at this point, you have not yet consented to allow yourself to really embrace everything that life has to offer, because there feels like there's still a lot of residual energy with what has gone before. You know, these people may have exited your life, whatever actors the universe has sent towards you to you know, deliver these very challenging lessons to you. They may well be long gone, but the residual energy of that comes until you've fully processed everything and then allowed yourself to release it, still feels like it's kind of sticky, like tar, like around the edges of stuff. And you know, there's some scrubbing that needs to be done here in order to liberate yourself from it. And we've got the Five of Pentacles here, which is a card of loss and lack and poverty of some description, but poverty of any sort, because the Pentacles for me are energetic currency, right? So anything that you can invest becomes a pentacle. You know, your time, your care, your effort, your love, and your money as well. Yeah, for sure. And it feels like you're perhaps without anything to invest into at the moment. Now, I would say almost immediately that's because you need to invest in yourself, Aries. That would be my instinct here. But it does feel like things have blown up. I mean, some of you might be feeling really quite lonely. Okay? And accepting that. I mean, and it is what it is, right? I'm feeling lonely right now. But still that feeling remains, you know? Let's pull some clarifiers. I don't usually do this for the mid-months, but I'm feeling drawn to do it. Tell me about the Lovers in reverse, please, for Aries. The Lovers in reverse here. We've got the Ace of Swords. And the Page of Pentacles there. You've got out of alignment with stuff. And I do think that for your main monthly read, we spoke about this marching to the beat of your own drum. I think it's coming. I think it's definitely coming, but you need to allow yourself to hear it, you know. And I wonder if you haven't up until this point. The Ace of Swords and Page of Pentacles, you know, absolutely speaking to the understanding, the realization, that the conscious acknowledgement that it's time to start again in a different direction, right? And Aries is very good at starting again, right? Well, starting something afresh. But first, the stickiness needs to be washed off. You know? Tell me about this Five of Pentacles. We've got the Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Wands underneath here. You know, that which you are seeking, that which you want, is very, very close, Aries. And if it's not arriving just yet, if it's not something that is within your awareness and within your consciousness, then it seems to me like looking at the ways in which you are restricting yourself might not be a bad idea at this point. So if you are lonely, you know, have you actually gone places where you might meet people? Or if you're sitting at home, you know, watching Netflix and eating ice cream out of a tub with a spoon, it's not going to bring new people into your life, right? You've got double aces here. You've got a new start, literally. It's just hovering over you. It's right over the target at the moment, but it's almost like you need to turn off the TV and look up and notice it's there, right? These opportunities are absolutely around you. What are you doing to bring them in? Because the Page of Pentacles says that some effort needs to be expended before these fully reveal themselves. But when they do reveal themselves, I mean, this is joyous right here. You know, I said that Six of Pentacles was underneath the Magician there, right? The Five and the Ace together make a Six of Pentacles, right? This is really, really close. But Are you getting bogged down with things, Aries? Have you missed something? Are you missing something? Or are you not putting yourself in a place where you were able to see it in the first place, you know? Let's have a look and see why you are in this energy at the moment. Like, I feel like it's kind of obvious why you're in this energy. I feel like we've probably already covered it, but let's see what the cards have got to say. Tell me about why Aries is here, what's trying to be shown to Aries. So we have the Page of Wands with the Devil. We have the Ace of Swords again. There she is. And the Nine of Pentacles. Right. Got the Page of Cups at the bottom of here. So you have now had 3 of the 4 pages. The only one that's missing is the Page of... what? Page of Wands, Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups, Page of Swords. That's the only one that's missing here. But you have double Aces of Swords. And so this isn't just... I often say that I feel like the Page of Swords is like mental expansion, right? It's sometimes considered to be the card of the student, but it's about active learning, right? So you go from a place of knowing, you know, something in, and then your mind opens up with it. Consider like philosophy student, right? With the Ace of Swords, this is huge epiphanies hitting. This isn't just starting and expanding. This is the introduction of an entirely new way of thinking about things. And we've got it here underneath your card that's speaking to me about disempowerment and coming out of alignment with yourself and your path. Deliberately so, I feel like. Often when we look back, we can see that we took these big twists and turns away from the main path, and this often can make us feel like we've been wandering in the wilderness for quite a long time. But I don't think that those little side quests that we do where we get lost are us deviating from the path. I feel like that is our path, right? And it might be away from everybody else's, but it's necessary for us to go and experience these things so we can come back to the main path, you know, wiser and with a little bit more grey hair, right? I mean, Aries, what this is saying to me here quite strongly across all 4 of these cards is that there is something that you are afraid of. There is something where you kind of are sticking tire iron through your own front wheel of your bicycle, and you're stopping yourself from moving somewhere, right? The Page of Wands is like a precursor to movement, right? It's allowing yourself to get excited about what it is that you are going to do next. There it is, right there. But here's the Devil creeping up behind him, right? So what have you thought about recently and then gone, no, I couldn't possibly do that? Right? Because that's your devil, that's what's creeping up behind you, that's self-sabotage. And it feels like it's kind of stalking you a little bit at the moment. With this Ace of Swords, it's a really strong Ace of Swords, right? You know that you need to think differently about the situation. Now, so to come back to the Lover's card, I said disempowerment, coming out of alignment, all that sort of thing. With aces both times, right? This was the clarifier, one of the clarifiers for it, but this sits directly underneath it as it sits here on my table, right? It's flanked here by Ace of Swords. The realization and the epiphany that you need to have is that you are keeping yourself stuck. Now, I don't think that you're doing it on purpose. I mean, do we ever do it on purpose? Certainly not. That would be weird, right? But we do it accidentally. We do it inadvertently all the time. Because this Page of Wands looks to me like he's absolutely oblivious to the presence of the Devil. So it's like, what is holding you back? Why are you consenting to allow it to hold you back? The Lovers and the Devil card are often given to be basically exactly the same card. The Devil is 15 and the Lovers is 6. Right, you reduce 15 down and you get 6, so we've got 2 cards numbered 6. They're the same card and they're coming from a different place. This is all about free will and empowerment and consent, I feel. This is about being somewhere because you feel like you can't leave. This is about being somewhere because the alternative is too terrifying, right? It's a situation that robs you of your free will, makes you think that your consent is irrelevant in this situation, and actually it's not. So the fact that the Lovers is in reverse and the Devil is in the upright puts them kind of in the same camp here. You feel like you don't have a choice, and you do. You absolutely do. But first you need to identify what it is that is making you feel like you don't. You know? And this Ace of Swords is huge here, because there's a whole new way of seeing the world that is opening up to you when you pull your consent back to you and go, well, actually, I don't consent. I feel like a piece of shit about this situation. And even if you have, you know, even if you have behaved badly in this situation, right, that can stay as a stain on your conscience forever if you try and ignore it. But if you look at it with... you know, there's a Page of Cups down there. Oh, and look, there's the Page of Swords. We've got him shining a light on your emotional state right here. Or you can look at it, you can go, I made a mistake. I forgive myself. I'm going to be compassionate to myself, and I'm going to resolve not to make that particular mistake again. I have learned a thing from this situation. I mean, this is an extreme example, but I do feel quite strongly that your emotions are at the root of this here. And it can be all sorts of ways that is in play, you know, whether you're dealing with issues of low self-esteem and low worth, or, you know, whether you have cocked up with something and now you don't feel like you can forgive yourself, even if everybody else has, and feel like there are less people around you actually than usual, you know. Even the loneliness, I mean, are you making that some sort of deficiency in you, whilst keeping yourself in a position where you're not meeting people, right? These are all just examples, and I want you to take it as it resonates to you, because it will be different for each of you. But like, look at it thematically and see where it applies to your life, because the Ace of Swords is that ability to think clearly. It is the truth of the situation. It is the truth of the matter. And we've got the Nine of Pentacles here. Now this for me is about good resource management by you, Aries, as an individual, because it's number 9, right? 9s are always about the individual for me. Where are you putting your energy at the moment? Where is it going? Are you spreading yourself too thin? Are you spending a lot of time focusing on what is wrong with your life rather than how you can get to what it is that you want instead? You know, are you spending a lot of effort, you know, kicking yourself and being like, well, why are you so fucking awful? You know, as a human being, God, why can't you keep any friends? Why do you fall out with your family? You know, there's a level of acceptance that things are as they are that is required to move forwards, but you are not defined by the situation that you find yourself in at the moment. And I think it's really important for you to understand that about yourself, because you may appreciate it intellectually, but I do not feel like emotionally you've kind of caught up with yourself yet. So take a bit of time with that, because the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun actually are underneath there. The Wheel of Fortune is turning, and with the Sun being right there behind it, right, it's on the up. Even if we hadn't seen this Ace of Pentacles and the Six of Wands here, which we have, you know, we could say from the back, or just off the back of that, that this is looking like it's going to improve very, very soon, but it needs to improve by your actions first. Everything else will catch up. Where are you putting your energy? Are you putting it in the right way? Are you investing it in you? Because here's the other thing, Aries. I was talking specifically about the level of investment that was required here from you to you, right, with this Five of Pentacles. But here's the Nine of Pentacles right beneath it, there. We're talking about the same thing. And when you choose to invest in yourself, suddenly everything improves. Let's put those down there. Right. You know, it could be one of those situations where, like, 2 years from now, or even a year from now, even 6 months from now, you'll look back at this point and you'll go, the answer was so fucking simple. It was staring me in the face and I just didn't even notice it. I can't believe it took me so long to notice what it is. I do think it is a lot to do with getting out of your own way, or looking at the ways in which you are getting in your own way at this point, you know. Where are you holding on to things that need to be released? Where are you holding on to things that need to be let go? Because you seem to be sat in a liminal place at the moment where things have ended and new things have not yet begun, but they haven't begun because you haven't processed what went before. Now you've properly, you know, when you get to a point where you properly Peter Piper picked a peck of pepper, where you are not just intellectually processing this, but also emotionally processing this, then things just change straight away, because there's the magician energy. There is you putting your will onto the situation, your intent. You know, you go from feeling very disempowered and very trapped to suddenly realizing that you have everything that you need to create what it is that you want. Give me some advice, please, for Aries. We have the Star, and we have the Three of Wands. Beautiful. Advice for Aries, please. These are coming out all together. We've got the Fool, well, the Two of Cups and the Fool there. One more card for Aries, please. Thank you. I said one. Fucking hell. Right. Okay. Wow. Joe, so there's three that have come out there, but do you know what? They're all absolutely appropriate. So I'm going to take them. We've got the Strength card at the bottom of the deck here. That's a card of Leo, but it is the card of personal growth. It is the card of endurance. It's a card of, you know, going through some fucking terrible shit and then just coming out the other side being like, well, I'm still here, right? No, I still exist. Everything is good. It's talking about personal strength, right? Not the ability to be able to control everyone or control your environment, but the fact that you can withstand whatever gets thrown at you and still learn and still grow from it, right? So what we've got down here for advice is the Star with the Three of Wands. It's time to start getting very, very serious about what it is that you actually want. Like, what are your goals? What are your dreams? What are your hopes, Aries? And what are you doing to bring them in for yourself? There's the Three of Wands. Now, there are several cards of manifestation in the major arcana, and you've had both of them. Right? There's the Magician card and there's the Lovers card. And that frustration that you seem to be feeling to me at the moment about the fact that you cannot manifest in quite the way that you want to is palpable. But remember the presence of the Magician, right? He was in the upright. He's like, actually, all of this is possible. You just need to direct your attention, direct your energy in the right way. In the minor arcana, I feel like the Three of Wands is like a lower level echo of this, because this is about the actions that you take in the day-to-day to bring about those things to yourself. So if you have withdrawn, it's about kind of coming out of yourself again, you know, take it as it resonates to you, apply it to your situation, right? But this is about what you want, this is what you hope for, these are your goals and your dreams, and this is about how you bring them towards you. This is about what actions you take to walk closer to your personal star. We have here the Two of Cups and the Fool, you know, and again, like, are you meeting people? If you are feeling lonely, what are you doing to rectify that? Are you sitting and feeling sad in your house, or have you joined a group, you know, a craft group, or you know, maybe set up a group all of your own, you know? That would be a very Aries thing to do. But the Fool card is the card of Aries. It is the card of, well, it's a card of a lot of things actually, but it's a card of trust. There are people out there that you can trust again, and you need to allow yourself to do that. But this is also speaking to the need to meet new people, right? The need to connect with new people. So bear that in mind. But the thing that I really like down here is the fact that we've got the Two of Wands, the Nine of Wands, and the Ten of Wands all appearing together here. Now, that's a process right there. Realize that you are at a Two of Wands situation, right? You cannot get to the Three without navigating through the Two first. And the Two is, what do you want? How are you going to get it? How are you stopping yourself from doing these things at the moment, right? It's that pure crossroads energy of going, I can go this way, or this way, or this way, or I can go backwards and go to where I've already been, but we've already established that that town burned down a little while ago now, right? So there's nothing of use for you there. So which way are you going to go? And once you have decided that, then you get to start, well, you're working towards this. I mean, both of these cards here are called wish cards. Both of these cards, mate, we've got a genie on there, but it's also about taking personal responsibility for your emotional state. So if you are unhappy, what can you change to bring more happiness into your life? Like, where can you take responsibility for your emotional state instead of feeling crap because of circumstances, going, well, that wasn't great, didn't enjoy it, but there are, 7 billion other people out there on the planet. There is probably 100 billion different experiences that I could have in different places if I choose to have them, right? Bring the power back to yourself, Aries. That's what this says. And get into alignment with what it is that you're actually wanting to bring forwards for yourself, because then we've got 10 behind there, right? You sort yourself out and you find other people who are like you, resonate at your frequency. That's the whole thing, like birds of a feather flock together. Like, it's kind of true. Because you only really, you can have friends who are completely different to you. My best friend for a very long time was a Christian chap who'd gone to boarding school and was a mad fat football fanatic and loved drinking, and we couldn't be more different if we tried, and yet absolutely loved the bones of that man. And I think we went about things in a very, very different way. We had very, very different interests, but we vibrated at the same level, and so we were bezies, You don't need to go and find people who are into the same things as you are, although that can be a point of commonality, and that's quite useful. It's lighting your own personal beacon, Aries, and saying, here I am, I'm vibrating at this level. If you vibrate at this level as well, come join me. And then you get to the 10 of Cups, right? You find your tribe. Right, I'm going to leave it there. I really hope that this was helpful for you, Aries. Know that I love you all very, very much, and I will see you soon.